It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 18th of June. I'm Michael Groff. The major weather headline around here, it's going to be the heat over the next several days. Temperatures headed up above average, maybe approaching record territory in some spots. It will remain hot through the weekend. But one caveat to all of it will be an increase in moisture across the area as well for some showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain and some isolated showers and storms possible in the lower deserts. Maybe, just maybe, including Phoenix. All right, we'll talk about all that, what it means as we dive on in. First, the almanac from yesterday. 108 degrees the afternoon high, 84 the morning low, 105 and 79 the averages for this time of year. 118 degrees, that record from 2021. The upper level weather pattern across the nation right now here in the midday hours shows a trough to the north of Arizona and a westerly flow here. Pretty dry air is in place. We have a tropical system developing out over the Gulf of Mexico, and that could help to inject at least a little bit of moisture here into the southwest. We'll watch the evolution of that feature over the next few days and some strong storms up across the northern plains. And that is a concern too. We have a tornado watch in effect for much of the state of Minnesota. That includes Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so be aware of that for this afternoon. Elsewhere, tropical storm warnings. How about that showing up along the Texas coast? Out here in the southwest, we've got an excessive heat watch that is currently in effect from 10 a.m. Thursday through 8 p.m. Friday. I'm sure the National Weather Service will undoubtedly upgrade that. We also have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings in the northeast as very hot temperatures continue up there. Convective outlook for today. There's that risk of severe storms again for the eastern Great Lakes, the Northeast, as well as much of the Plain States and along the immediate Texas coast. Precipitation outlook. This is valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix. Not much, but maybe something. Statewide, rain amounts generally under 1/2 inch for the most part. Of course, your amount will vary, as we always tell you when we start getting into that monsoon season. And yes, this moisture is somewhat monsoonal now. It's probably not going to last very long. It's here for a good time, not a long time. We'll get into it as we dive into the models right now. Take a look. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run, valid 5 o'clock this afternoon. High pressure building in here across the eastern half of the country. Now out here in the west, we've got a trough, and that, at least for the moment, is going to help to hold temperatures down closer to seasonal averages. But as that lifts out, we will begin to warm up. What it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today: sunny, highs 101 to 105, pretty close to normal. Tonight, clear sky, overnight lows, low 70s to low 80s. Tomorrow, more of the same for the most part. Highs 103 to 107, sunny sky, dry air. So we got a Thursday, moisture beginning to increase. You can see a lot of moisture out there across much of West Texas, getting some much needed rain in parts of New Mexico. A few showers and storms in the Four Corners region, maybe an isolated storm over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. I doubt we'll see anything here. The one thing we are going to see is temperatures. They'll be heating up on Thursday. Highs getting up to around 108 to 113 degrees. Friday, we could see temperatures pushing up maybe toward 115. But widely scattered showers and thunderstorms develop over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona again, and a few storms will try to make their way into the lower deserts. Here's the deal, though. The subcloud layer is going to be pretty dry. So when any storms that come in here will mainly be wind and dust and maybe lightning producers, and that's going to be about it. Could somebody see a raindrop? Absolutely. But by and large, these will be mainly dry thunderstorms for us. As we go into the weekend, the ridge of high pressure is going to start to position itself in a somewhat less favorable position to bring storms into the lower deserts, with the flow aloft more southerly and eventually turning more southwesterly. Still some widely scattered showers and storms over the higher terrain, and an isolated storm maybe on Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening here in the lower deserts. But again, it's going to be hot, highs above 110 degrees. Sunday, again, an isolated storm possible someplace, but for the most part, will stay dry here in the lower deserts with highs still pretty close to 110, if not higher than that. And then as we go into next week, things could get kind of interesting here. The ridge is going to be sitting around the southwest. Its exact position is a little bit unknown, but at this point, it looks like it'll be sitting somewhere over Arizona, just to our south. So the flow aloft, again, more or less southwesterly. That should keep most of the moisture away from us. And temperatures will still be quite hot, likely 109 to 114. Here's a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 25th. If this is right, that's a 597 ridge sitting right there on the border of Arizona and New Mexico. That is a very favorable position for heat. Now, there could be a little bit of moisture that tries to seep in, but unfortunately, with such a strong ridge and very high upper heights, I don't think we'd get much in the way of clouds to develop here across the south central deserts. A lot of subsidence there, so it would be dry, just very hot in that kind of a setup. In fact, historically, that's a position where we would see high temperatures 115, maybe 117, 118. As we go out 10 days, this is Thursday, the 27th. And again, looks pretty warm and pretty dry here with troughing coming into the Pacific Northwest, our ridge getting squelched ever so slightly, but temperatures would still remain at or above average here for much of next week. All right, now here's where it gets a little encouraging, though. This is rainfall coming off the GFS ensemble for Phoenix out to the 2nd of July. And the ensemble mean is coming up closer to 1/3 of an inch now, and most of the members indicate some degree of precipitation. Now, a number of them may be out further into the period, out toward 10 days, and our ensemble guidance certainly seems to suggest that monsoon ridging will start to build in, but we got to watch those troughs coming into the Pacific Northwest. If those can stay further to the north and we can get a ridge building in here, we could see more monsoon moisture coming on in later next week and into the following weekend, just in time for the month of July. But at this point, we're not totally convinced of that happening. But even the European ensemble, which has stayed pretty dry, is starting to pick up with rain amounts coming up here. The ensemble mean approaching 1/10 of an inch. And I know that's not a lot, but hey, this thing was zeroed out basically for the longest time, so it's starting to come alive. Maybe a chance at some storms at some point here that we'll keep an eye on for you. And then temperatures off the national blend of models, we're pretty much going to stay above average for the next 10 days with highs 110 plus on most days, overnight lows in the 80s. And with moisture levels coming up, surface humidity coming up, yeah, maybe in the urban core, we could have a day or two with a low of 90 plus. I know. Don't want to hear that. All right, that'll do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of, sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, check her out. Check out her blogs and her videos and everything else that we have linked up down there in the description that is Michelle related. And our streaming station called KMGX, available 24/7, 365. Do check that out as well. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that. Again, all linked up in the description. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. And you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Tuesday.